Super Bowl Sunday is coming, and I don't know about you, Shasky, but I'm a little annoyed with all the Mahomes is great. Mahomes is great. I'm sick of time talking about how great he is. I want to talk about our team and what the Niners need to do and all that good stuff, but fun exercise for everybody out there. If we took away all the eligibles, right, for the 49ers, you took away Purdy, you took away McCaffrey, Debo, take away Trent, take away the obvious guys who need to have a big game.
Yeah, the premier fantasy football players that you would be selecting.
Absolutely. But Baldy said yesterday, Tig Brown, Jair Brown, he's a guy that's flying under the radar this week. It was very interesting to hear that from him. He had 10 tackles in the NFC title game. He was laid out a couple passes, but there's no doubt he's a vital part of what's going to happen on Sunday against Mahomes as a rookie safety. But who's the guy who's just got to have a big game that nobody's talking about? Who's that guy? And everybody can chime in on it. 888-957-9570. Who's that guy, if you took away the premium players, that's got to have a monster day on Sunday?
Is this guy too high profile? And you tell me. Dre Greenlaw.
Nah, he's right there. He's on the cusp.
To me, when this team is humming, Dre Greenlaw is playing at his best. He's an enforcer. He's going sideline to sideline. He's wrapping up. He's in coverage. Maybe he's randomly blitzing. He's a force in the run game. To me, Dre Greenlaw, this team goes when he goes. When he's off the field, we're a totally different team. Totally different team. When he is laying the wood, you're talking about one of the best defenses in the last decade.
Right.
And that's how different he is. Now, you can say, Joe, defensive line, pass rush. Believe me, I understand how important all that is. I don't think Kelsey can be guarded by one individual.
Yep.
And I'm looking at someone like Dre Greenlaw as a guy who can at least strike some fear into someone. And when he whaps somebody near the sideline and suplexes them, we know that the intensity level of the 49ers on offense and defense goes through the roof.
Yep.
I'm taking Dre Greenlaw.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
One of my favorite Niners.
Yeah, no, I like that pick a lot. I mean, I like that a lot.
There's so many of them. I just don't know.
There's so many favorite Niners. There's a lot of good names coming up on YouTube.
Yeah, I want to hear them.
Chase Young from Ian. Or Ian. Conrad Arenas with our O-line not named Williams. Not mad at that.
With the whole Chris Jones situation being what it is and Baldy calling him a closer.
Yeah.
I'm very worried about him identifying the matchup, and then Baldy says he'll find the pigeon.
Yep, he'll find the pigeon.
I love some of these.
I couldn't believe he said the pigeon. Dublin Marge. Ambry Thomas needs to have a good game. Now, Ambry Thomas apparently got the cast off his head. He did bang up his ankle a little bit in the NFC title game. He blamed some of the slippage of the cast on that play where Jamison Williams took the ball from him in the fourth quarter. Remember that? Before Detroit failed on the fourth down. Ambry Thomas, very interesting. You don't want him getting cooked, that's for sure.
Well, I look at the secondary as a whole, and I just think this is a more favorable matchup than in the last few weeks. I think Green Bay's wide receiver core, we're going to look back at and go, oh, wow. Green Bay's got some receivers. I think it might take a year for everyone to kind of come to that realization. And then I look at what Detroit has. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown had a historic year.
Yep.
I mean, when you are up there next to Calvin Johnson in team franchise records, whether it be touchdowns, yards, catches, targets, you're an elite player. So I think that this matchup, I like Rice. Rice is an excellent player. But Valdez-Scantling, we've seen him.
Right.
I mean, that was who Aaron Rodgers was throwing to with the game on the line in Lambeau.
Yep.
And I think he matches up well with Charvarius Ward. That's a great matchup for him.
Yep.
Charvarius Ward, I've been watching all of his interviews. You want to talk about a guy who is just, I didn't realize his backstory as much. Like, he's been now talking about his family and how his daughter is so important to him.
Down syndrome, man.
It's just incredible. Incredible. And talk about how he went from undrafted free agent to a guy who's now started multiple Super Bowls for two different teams.
He got plucked off the practice squad with the Dallas Cowboys.
Bro, his story is something everyone can relate to.
Yep.
And I look at Charvarius Ward, and I think that we've kind of undersold how good he's been for this team as a high-priced free agent.
Wow. SF Flood, 25-42 with a sleeper.
Give it to me.
Charlie Warner blocking with juice. I like that.
Then that's a sleeper.
That's a sleeper.
That's going deep.
We got somebody here, Rude Boy. Whoever's blocking Chris Jones is going to have a big game. Well, it's going to be a group effort, no doubt about that. I like the Javon Hargrave stuff going around here. Let's go to the lines.
Yeah.
Indo and San Jose.
God, this game
Indo and
can't
San
come
Jose.
quick enough.
I take away the premier players in this football game. Who needs to have a big game on Sunday?
What's up, bro?
I just want to say Javon Hargrave in the last 7 games has 1 sack. We gave him the big money. He needs to show up. They're all pro guard. Joe Thuney's out this game. He needs to stop the run, and he needs to get pressure up the middle.
Yeah. I mean, with Eric Armstead battling the injury that he's battling right now, I'm not mad at that Hargrave suggestion. He does need to step up. You know, when you pay somebody big money in free agency, yeah, the regular season is important. But a team like the Niners, can you make plays when it really matters in the playoffs? That's how it goes from being a good signing to a great signing.
And you came over from Philadelphia, and we all expected you to bring over whatever you brought from Philadelphia last year to the 49ers. And he got off to a great start this season. Javon Hargrave, the first half of the season, was like, wow, this guy's worth every single dollar, every single penny that John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan spent on him. Then he just went MIA. And I don't know if it had to do with the new rotations. I don't know if it had to do with Armstead being hurt. But, geez, Javon Hargrave has just not shown up here. And it's a guy who we interviewed in the offseason when he did sign the big money contract, got his $40 million guaranteed. I do think that he needs to have an impact on the game because Mahomes does like to step up in that pocket, whether it's the A or B gaps. That's right there. The interior of that offensive line, you have to dominate. Without duty, as Indo and San Jose said, there's no excuse.
No.
There's really no excuse.
No, there isn't. And, I mean, look, Ragnow was banged up heading into that game last week. And I barely saw our defensive line in the middle make any impact.
I mean, David Montgomery had how many runs up the middle, A-gap, getting to the second and third level?
It was bad.
Not 5, not 6.
It was really bad. It was really bad. You know, before we continue to ask the audience, and I want to hear their thoughts on.
By the way, real quick, not to cut you off, I'm just looking at sacks from last postseason. Javon Hargrave, 1 sack last postseason, 9 tackles in 3 games.
Interesting
stuff.
Interesting.
It's unacceptable.
If I said to you, Jake Moody has to have a big game, and it's not necessarily about field goals and things like that. One thing that bugs me is you have a monster foot. You should be kicking it into the back of the end zone every single time. And maybe I'm just a whack job and I obsess over these things. Some of his kickoffs have been almost unacceptable.
His kickoffs almost go out of bounds. I don't know what's going on with Jake Moody. I really don't. That's a good call. No, I watch the kickoffs.
Forget the field goals.
I watch. You know what I do is I watch him warm up.
Yeah.
And then even at halftime, he was warming up. My boy Zuri next to me. Look at this guy. He's missing from 40 yards out at halftime in the Detroit game. Now, he did make a big kick.
He did.
A couple big kicks, Green Bay and Detroit. But his kickoffs, man, just, they're always bouncing into the end zone. Thought you had a powerful leg.
Near the sidelines, too. And
it.
Here's the thing. I couple that with knowing our kick return unit is not the greatest. They always seem to give up a big run in a game.
Kadarius Toney on special teams had one of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl last year on the punt return.
It's a great call. It's a great call.
So your return game, think about the Green Bay game. You get some points and then, boom, they flip the field by getting a big kickoff return. Unacceptable. Special teams has got to be buttoned up this week.
I mean, and one of the Super Bowl losses that the Niners endured, special teams was a big part of it.
Kickoff return at the beginning of the second half.
I mean, like,
Kobe Jones.
That's one of those devastating type of plays.
Yeah, you can't have that.
No, you can't give Mahomes any extra anything.
Seeing a lot of Hargraves. Zucci Man. What up, Zucci Man? 408. 510. Greenlaw and Jawan Jennings. I'm seeing that. Jawan Jennings. Quiet sleeper.
Good call.
I like that.
Jawan Jennings has been an absolute monster for them in terms of like the physicality and all that. He does come through with big time catches.
He does. Let's go to Paul in Houston.
That's a good call. I like the Jawan Jennings.
I do too. Paul in Houston. Who's that one player who's flying under the radar? If we took all the premium players off the board, who's that one player who's got to step up?
Yeah, I'm going to go way down the roster and go with Oren Burks.
Wow.
You look at the Johnny Dale, look at the All-22 from last week, all those big runs on the edge. Burks was in the wrong gap. I'm going deep, going to Oren Burks to stop the checkup.
I think that's a really smart. You have a high football IQ because I agree with you. B, what did I say about, like last week I was very frustrated seeing like we miss Al Shair. Now I understand you can't afford everyone. I get that. Shair was really good as a third linebacker. He was really good.
He was solid. I didn't like him when he started. But
Agreed.
as a third in the base defense, because Kansas City will try to get you in the base defense, and that's what Detroit did. They were able to get Oren Burks off and get the Niners out of their nickel defense. They ran right at Oren Burks at times. He just does not hold up well in the run game. And you got Isaiah Pacheco running the way he's running, and the Chiefs getting to the second level. Or Bucks, that's a good call.
It really
especially
is.
in the base defense.
Well, and I think the one thing, if you look at the 2 playoff games, what worries me is these tosses to the edges for Pacheco.
Quick pitches.
Yeah, that they've got to shore up their gap assignment, and they got to get off blocks. Like I know. Oh my gosh, what is this? What is the scheme Wilks is running? Guys got to get off of blocks.
Right, no doubt.
We can call it what it is. It's both things.
Getting off of blocks and not allowing Pacheco to get to the second level or third level, and making sure in a game like this, when you have a week off and you don't practice as much or you don't practice as hard, I do worry about the tackling in the Super Bowl. How can you shore up and wrap up these guys? You don't want to make 6-yard pass plays and turn them into 10-yard pass plays. When you tackle right before, there was a couple times Detroit, they catch the ball 2 yards in front of the first down marker, they break a tackle, get the first down. You have to collision wrap, drive the legs in this game. So tackling to me, that goes with Oren Burks, that goes with Ambry Thomas on the edge. You have to be able to tackle these guys and make sure they don't get no explosives. Keep this offense in check. It's a very simple offense right now Kansas City's running.
No doubt, and you can't give him free yardage. The guy's going to make free plays on his own. You referenced Tig Brown. I think that's a really good call. I would combine the 2 safeties. I don't think Deshaun Gibson's played his best ball the last few weeks. He's referenced how he was in retirement in 2022 and got a phone call from John Lynch. He was going to coach Little League Baseball. I mean, I couldn't believe the things he was admitting.
That was wild.
And when I watched effort level, we made a lot about Chase Young. I didn't think Gibson gave the greatest effort last week.
No, he didn't.
And that was really disappointing because he's been a good Niner. Much better than I anticipated when they started him last year at the beginning of the year.
No, that was awful. That was awful.